Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is G. Fletcher, and I am with LifeVantage here in Australia. And today we have the honor of interviewing Tanya Rae Plante, who is an equine therapist in British Columbia, Canada. She is she's been with LifeVantage. She's been an equine therapist for many years. She got introduced to LifeVantage predominantly through her horse. And we're going to hear her story. She's been with LifeVantage for 2.5 years. She is passionate about getting Protandim into as many people and as many animals as possible. So I know her team was very varied, but her main thing is to try and get it out there to as many people as possible. So Tanya, welcome, and thank you so much for coming on today and giving up your time. What I would like to maybe ask you is just if you could share a little bit about your background, where, a little bit about what you were doing before LifeVantage, and then how you got introduced to LifeVantage.
Yes, of course, G. I've been around horses my whole life. I grew up riding horses. I barrel race is what I do I don't do it professionally. I do it for a hobby, but I've been an equine therapist for 10 years. And as an equine therapist, I would do massage, magnetic therapy, chiropractics, nutrition. Also, as an equine therapist, I really got into the herbal mixtures for horses. Horses are much more sensitive to herbs than people are, because I know I get it a lot of times. People are like, well, how can a great big horse have one little pill, right? Horses are much more sensitive to herbs than people are, so that's why. But as an equine therapist, I would mix different herbs for every different horse, depending on what was going on with them. And I can honestly say that with the NRF2, I have had more success in this little mixture of 5 herbs than I did in the 10 years of mixing herbs. Now, I had really good success with that, don't get me wrong, but what NRF2 can do for horses is unbelievable. The things that I've seen it help with just by reducing oxidative stress in a horse's body is huge. It excites me to no end when I get to see these amazing animals thriving and getting better at what they do and feeling better. It's like us, right? Like they get more energy, but as you guys know, when we take it, we get more energy, but we don't get jittery. We don't get like scattered brain or anything like that. And the horses are the same way. They're focused, they're calm, and they can just perform at such a higher level is what I find. So yeah, I'm excited to barrel race my horses activated. I also, I'll just share a little bit of how I got into this, G.
I was just about to ask you, so you just keep going, girl.
Okay. I get so passionate about this, I just get rambling on because I'm just like, oh my goodness, everybody needs to share this with horses and people. So what had happened to my horse is he had fractured his cannon bone, and he is my favorite boy that I compete on all the time. And I literally just needed to save him. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts. The veterinarian had told me it would be a long road and that I would have to be very, very careful and keep him confined, because if he were to just even turn the wrong way, his leg would snap and that would be it. So I was on a mission to find something that could help him heal faster, stronger, and better, and also reduce the pain and inflammation. And I was literally scrolling through Facebook and I seen an ad. I didn't even get halfway through reading it, and I just knew that this was something amazing. So the next morning I got my credit card. I jumped on as a distributor And I gave it a chance. It honestly was just on a gut feeling. You know, when you get that feeling in your gut and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, this is going to be amazing. I know it. And it definitely just didn't disappoint at all. Um, I competed last year on my horse, and he came back stronger and faster than ever before.
Wow,
So,
that's amazing, Tanya. So look,
mhm.
in the 2.5 years, so you started off, you went with your horse. You had you had direct sales experience before, or had you thought, I'm going to put it out there into the world of horses? Or I know your first primary was, I've just got to get my horse sorted. So how did you end up
Yeah.
then growing? Because you have a huge team of people now all over the world, you know, well, I know all over Canada and America and everything, um, all different sorts of people. But what have you seen? How have you been able to grow this? Is it just because people trusted you then because of all the herbs you used to do and everything you used to do in the past?
I initially had no network marketing experience. I always say I was a professional distributor pack buyer because I had seen the big vision of network marketing. I had just not found my proper home, is how I see it, because I had bought a million distributor kits for a million different companies, and that is where it stopped. Like, I would make a few sales and I wasn't passionate about it, and I just didn't find the right home. So when I found this one and I tried the products and I used them all for myself too, because being a competitive barrel racer, working on horses for years and riding for years, my body too has taken a beating. I also have 3 beautiful children, so that's hard on your body too. So yeah, this was just like, yeah, this was amazing for myself and my horses. And so basically, I just started sharing it. And I know we kind of got a little out of control in the compliance area, but we're reeling that in, and we're starting to really do things right. But we just shared testimonials and just the amazing things that it had done with horses. It honestly just took off. And then people would get their horses on it, because I don't know if it's like that there, but in Canada, people will do anything for their horses first before they take care of themselves.
I think that's the
So
here.
yeah, so people will spend tons of money on their horses. And so now just convincing them that they need it themselves too, right? Because riding's hard on you, it has really helped it take off. And I just have so many passionate people all over that just want to share for animals too. And it hasn't just been the horses, the dogs. We've had great success with dogs.
Wow.
It's funny. Miniature ponies. I'm not really sure what it is. If miniature ponies have way more oxidative stress in their bodies than horses do, but they respond amazing to the
That's
Nerf
in
too.
New Zealand. There is one of the biggest distributors in New Zealand, and she's got the little mini Hay, little mini Haven or something it's called. And the little mini pony, what has happened with them little horses is unbelievable. But probably they do have a lot of oxidative stress if you see. So did you know much about oxidative stress before? Like, had you understood this being an equine therapist? Had you heard about free radical damage? And you know, you probably know about antioxidants, but had you known much about this and the harm that it could cause out horses?
No, actually, as an equine therapist, we were never taught. Like, I went to school intensively for 2 years. We were never taught about oxidative stress. And I think the reason being is there was never anything out there that could reduce oxidative stress. So it just wasn't something that was talked about in horses. Like, there's many herbs that do many different things, but never Did we say like we need to boost the antioxidants or, you know, increase cellular activity or anything like that? All through my equine training, which is crazy because oxidative stress is so, so huge in a horse's world. So when I started, honestly, I really needed to fix my horse, so I decided to try it. But then once I had ordered the product, I started looking into the research and everything. And this product has been used in horses, I think, pretty much since the start of LifeVantage.
Mm.
Um, I've talked to people who have gone way back, right? And that's 10, 11 years now that this product has been used in horses. Um, we have a professional barrel racer who hasn't shared this and has a secret that she doesn't share with anybody that her horse is on. And it's been on for a long time. So we kind of just put two to two together, right? And then, yeah, it wasn't really known. It was given in the horse world, but it wasn't really known until kind of our team just got on there and we just got really loud and we just shared all over social media and we just grew it in the horse world and the barrel racing world and it just took off.
So what would you say with horses? I know for me, having been on Protandem now for 4 years, 2 years with NRF1 and a year with ProBio because, you know, of the way that they were introduced into our country, but 4 years on Protandem and, you know, it's the best I've ever felt in my life. You know, I feel I'm back in my 20s. What kind of quantities, like, do you encourage people to just put horses on Protandem even if they're well? Like I was well when I got onto Pretendum. There was nothing wrong with me. We're all about vitality and improving vitality and energy and things like that. Do you encourage people that this is part of their long-term process to give the horse the best quality, the best lifespan, you know, things like that?
Yes, definitely. This is one of the best maintenance things that you can keep your horse on. I know with my horses, competing with them all the time, I know that if something should happen, if they should slip going around the barrel, pull a muscle, hurt something, I know that the inflammation is getting taken care of right away. I know that their cells are starting to heal right away before there's too much damage. And just for the overall body to function how it should, right? Reducing oxidative stress helps our cells function as they should. So by reducing the oxidative stress in a horse, they need a lot less of anything else because their bodies are absorbing the nutrients and functioning the way they are meant to function. And it's the same way in horses as in people, right? It will extend life because we know that horses' lifespans are way shorter due to oxidative stress. So I definitely, all of my horses are on NRF2 for maintenance. It doesn't matter how old they are. I have horses young to old, they're all on it. And if a horse would have an issue or something, then we would give them 2 pills a day.
So the maintenance is one, no matter what
Maintenance,
size they
1
are.
pill a day. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then if they're sick or something, two.
Two. Extreme we will go up to 4. 4 is pretty much the most that we give them because we find that any more than that, their body will just rid of it. That's kind of, you're just kind of throwing your money out the door.
So do you tend to put it in the bucket or do you have to camouflage it or do you just put it in with their food or do you rattle it? I heard people say that they do this little rattle and the horse comes across the paddock.
Yeah. My horses are, yeah, I shake the bottle. My horses come running. They will eat it right out of my hand with nothing else. When you first start giving it, you might want to give it in a handful of grain or feed or in a chunk of apple. Some horses are fussy. If I'm in a hurry, I just throw it in their grain bucket. and
Okay.
go. But the funny thing about that is I've thrown it in their grain bucket and I'll watch them and they'll like shuffle around in their grain. They'll find it and they'll eat it first before they eat anything else. So yeah, but definitely two. If people have horses that have been really competitive or have certain issues, I always suggest that they do a loading dose of 2 pills a day right off the start.
Perfect. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm seeing some people saying here that they crush them, that they do different things like that. So
Mhm.
where do you see this, like it's growing and growing at such a rapid race in the horsing world? So, it's working. Have you found, I know with barrel racing, that, you don't really get, I know there's a tiny bit of green tea that sometimes, but you found that the horses have been fine through barrel racing and things like that, them taking it because it's all natural?
Mhm. Yes, we've actually tested the caffeine in a horse, like blood tested to see how much caffeine is actually, because that would be in barrel racing, the really only banned substance. And it tests very, very, very low. And I'm thinking because it's such a small amount, the body absorbs it and right away. There are some associations, though, that you do have to be really careful with because they will have a banned substance list, and we haven't tested all the herbs. So you do have to check with your association to make sure that.
One of the
Mhm.
ladies here has said, have you found it helps get pregnant and hold pregnancy? I throw mine in a feed bucket. So with the pregnancy, one of the ladies has actually put on here, my pregnant mare gets one a day, and then after they foal, I give two a day for about a week, so they recover faster.
Mhm. Yeah, we don't really have anything that says it will help a pregnant mare get pregnant sooner. We have had people on our team that it's helped them. So I would think it would be the same in a horse. We have had a lot of really healthy pregnant mares foal with no issues, healthy babies. Yeah, it definitely, I would suggest it for pregnant mares.
Excellent. And um, how would you, just finally, how would you feel going out approaching, different horsing, organizations or, different people? How do you think would be the best way for some of these people to maybe go out and introduce? What have you found really works when you're introducing Life and Pro Tandem to maybe some other horse people in the horsing industry?
I just really find not using the ABC video
Yeah, I don't think it would
it
really.
is because horse people they can't relate it, right? Like if you're using it for yourself and you watch the ABC video, you can relate it to yourself. Horse people don't really relate it to their horses, but I always just explain to them how horses have more oxidative stress and that's why they don't live as long as we do. And kind of that aspect of it gets people really thinking like, oh yeah, my horse doesn't live as long as me. Why is that? Right? So then you can go into the oxidative stress part of it. I don't get too scientific with it. I found that kind of scares people away, but you really have to judge the person you're sharing it with. Like
Yeah,
if you're sharing it with a veterinarian, you can get more scientific, but just the basic horse person, just saying heals on a cellular level, reduces oxidative stress, just keep it simple is what I find.
brilliant. Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, Tanya. I really appreciate you coming on today and helping all our horse people increase the amount of people, and as well as horses that will try Protandem, because we've seen it work on us. So thank you so much.